This should make you smile on this Monday morning. The world is finally getting a look at the new polar bear cub that was born in a zoo in Berlin, Germany. Mama bear Tanya brought out her new cub for the first time yesterday. The cub was born December 1st, but the mother has been nurturing her in a dark den since then. And the birth is special for Tanya because she had lost 2 previous babies.
Hi again and good morning, everyone. Thanks for waking up with the Valley today. I'm Lisa Bedell here with Jordan Schreier. We're just getting started with our nonstop news and weather to the top of the hour to help you plan your day. Fire crews are wrapping up an overnight of fire watch at a South Fargo business complex after putting out flames in 2 of the building's units. They got the call around 9:30 last night about smoke and fire at a commercial building at 914 Page Drive South.
Firefighters forced their way in through an overhead garage door and found the units fully engulfed. The cause of that fire is still under investigation. Maybe you noticed during a drive around town, you probably did notice, the potholes. They are back in a big way in the Fargo-Moorhead area. The spring thaw brings them out, and that's when the water seeps into the ground. It expands and contracts with our changing temperatures. That breaks down the underlying soil structure, and potholes form when traffic passes over the weak spots.
We had no trouble finding them all along Main Avenue in Fargo, just west of the Red River. At some points, cars were swerving to get out of the way of those potholes, and you should steer clear of them if you can do so safely, because the damage potholes can cause to your car can add up. AAA says the bad roads can cause trouble with your tires, wheels, and suspension, and repairs could cost you a few $100s on average.
So to see if we have more pothole-making weather, let's check in right now with meteorologist Lisa Green.
Unfortunately, we have ideal pothole-making weather this week, above freezing temperatures during the day and freezing overnight. But that also helps us with the spring thaw, a gradual melting process, and we need that as we head into the flood season. So we'll have to put up with one to get the help from that. And we're going to see a pretty start to our morning. We're already seeing that this morning in Fargo, a pretty sunrise, starting with a few clouds in place right now. There are some areas off to the east where we're dealing with some dense fog too. So a quiet morning, but one that's not free from hazards. We've had temperatures drop below freezing overnight too. So some icy patches and again, some foggy areas as we head through the morning. So dense fog advisory, northwestern parts of Minnesota. You can see that there are places really struggling here in Bemidji and Park Rapids at a half-mile visibility reported there. Foston less than a mile. Surrounding areas a little bit on the lower side, but not quite as dense. And even at the airport in Fargo, our visibility is down just slightly. Our temperatures, again, below freezing. We're in the single digits up north at 6 degrees in Grand Forks, 12 in Fargo, and your winds are pretty light, less than 10 miles per hour. A lot of calm reports coming in. That's helping to contribute to the fog development. And there are some clouds rolling in advance of our next chance for some precipitation. This is nothing like what we've seen recently. A quick little bout of snow that's currently in Manitoba. That will be dropping south into, first of all, the Northern Valley and eventually the Southern Valley later tonight. And it's very light stuff. Here's a look at what will happen here through the morning. Eventually, those clouds take over, and here comes the very thin band of snow and some rain as our temperatures warm above freezing this afternoon. We'll be into the low to some upper 30s here in the valley. And that's when the wind picks up too. We'll see some gusts into the 20s. And then gradually this again just drops through the valley. So you may have to turn on your windshield wipers for a time here as we head through the day today as that moves through. But that basically clears out and fizzles out as we head into tomorrow morning, and we'll end up with some mostly cloudy skies. So I mentioned this above freezing temperatures through the week. Well, it's springtime on Wednesday. We get some spring-like weather. We'll get into the 40s for Thursday and Friday and into the weekend. And our next chance for precipitation Saturday and Sunday. And right now looks like some rain with temperatures into the 40s. Let's check it out with Al for a traffic update.
Good morning, Lisa. Good morning, everyone. We're westbound on Interstate 94 this morning, and our community is definitely waking up, getting out, getting after it this morning. My goodness, it's really busy out here, particularly right around the tri-level. Boy, I tell you what, there's a lot of traffic, and you really got to pay attention when you're merging. Westbound Interstate 94 is just about as busy as eastbound I-94. Looks like a 6 of one, half dozen of the other deal out here. Travel speeds 60 to 65 miles an hour. Pretty much the same story on Interstate 29. Northbound I-29, though, is much busier than is southbound Interstate 29. Travel speed's about the same out there. Road surface is dry. Perhaps in pretty good shape. A few scattered slippery areas here and there, but not really a big deal. Driving around town, you're going to find some slippery areas on some of the streets, including the main arteries. Get off the beaten path. Many of them are still dealing with the effects of the slush fest that we had last week. So make sure you're driving extra carefully today. And always don't forget, they're putting up a bridge. They're putting some bridge supports out here on Cheyenne Street starting at 9 o'clock this morning from 9 to noon. So look out for that. So just south of Interstate 94. Willamette Valley Today traffic.
Students and staff in Dilworth, Glendon, Felton schools get another day off before school reopens after concerns about heavy snow on the roofs of their buildings emerged last week. Crews have been very busy shoveling snow off of those buildings since last Wednesday.
School officials say snow was causing some structural concerns with the building, but they shut down all of the schools to check for safety. A mountain of snow has been dumped off of that building in Dilworth, and removing it hasn't been easy.
There's just layers of wet frozenness, and it rained this week, so our snow blowers aren't working so well on it. We're pulling big chunks.
Students were already scheduled to go on spring break from Thursday to Monday, so with the cancellation, they only missed a day of school.
The people who belong to St. Francis Church in North Moorhead are relocating for their services after their building collapsed 1 week ago. Church officials say part of the roof caved in because of the heavy snow and design deficiencies in the trusses.
The congregation is holding Mass at St. Elizabeth's in Dilworth, about 10 miles away. Crews are still moving debris out of St. Francis, and church leaders don't anticipate being back in their building until midsummer. Police are looking for help tracking down whoever shot out dozens of car windows over the weekend. About 24 vehicles in South Fargo had their windows shattered during a 24-hour period that started Friday night.
Most of the vandalism happened east of 25th Street to cars parked in driveways, on the street, and in a parking ramp. Police say it looks like a BB gun or a pellet gun was used. And if you saw anything suspicious, you're urged to call the Red River Dispatch number on your screen, 701-451-7660. Community members are rallying around a West Fargo family to help raise money for this little boy who's battling a rare medical condition. When Miles Allen was 3 years old, he was diagnosed with stage 4 neuroblastoma. That's an aggressive form of pediatric cancer. His mom is a single parent who stays home or is in the hospital with her son 2 weeks out of every month.
The family is originally from out of town, so they don't have a lot of community ties. For details on how you can help this family, just visit our website, valleynewslive.com. And watch for more on Miles and his family and their journey a little later this week on Valley News Live. Jamestown Ambulance Service wants to thank a woman for her help during last week's blizzard, but they don't know who she is. They say snow was blocking the entrance of a home when they responded to a medical emergency.
A woman came out with shovels and then helped the responders shovel through the drifts. And with a path cleared, the ambulance crew was able to get the patient out. But because of the patient's condition, the crew was not able to thank the woman for her help.
The NDSU men's basketball team is playing one of the first games of the NCAA tournament this week, and they only had to wait a few minutes to hear their name called for the matchup. Fans were on hand at the Shack yesterday when the Bison found out they'll be playing North Carolina Central on Wednesday.
NDSU won the Summit League Tournament Championship and gained an automatic berth into the field of 68. But to see their name come up so quickly on the bracket caught some of those players off guard.
We weren't expecting to see our names come up so fast, but I'm excited to play North Carolina Central on Wednesday, and we'll go from there.
If NDSU wins Wednesday night, they'll move on to the round of 64 against the #1 overall seed, the Duke Blue Devils. That will be Friday in Columbia, South Carolina.
The performers make it look so easy, but of course, you know, a lot of hard work goes into preparing for the Moorhead Ice Show.
The Valley Today's Abby Furchner is live with how the crew gets ready for their big day. Good morning, Abby.
Well, good morning, guys. I'm here at the Moorhead Sports Center where on Friday at 7, the Moorhead Ice Show is going to start. And I'm here with Don Franklin, who is the Moorhead Ice Show director. And there's a lot that goes into preparing for this ice show.
Correct. These girls and boys have been working really hard for the last month, but actually all year. and just they're super excited to show off for their family and friends.
Because they do competitions besides the Moorhead Ice Show, and there's a lot of, it's all year round. So even in the summer times, you guys have practice.
We do. We skate. I mean, we do the early mornings and the not so attractive times in the winter, but we do get decent ice time in the spring and summer, and it's kind of nice because they can pick and choose if they need a break. They have ice available to them year round, and they can do as much or as little as they want.
And so how many performances are going to be at this year's show?
We will have 3. One on Friday night at 7, one on Saturday night at 7, and one on Sunday at 1.
And there are skaters all from the little kiddos to the big kids.
All the way up through college age. Little groups through solos, big groups of high-level skating doing, your precision line type kick lines, and yeah, we have everything.
Watching them this morning, I was like, wow, it really takes a lot. I was barely standing on the 2 skates rather than just seeing the girls up on one. But once again, that is going to be at the Moorhead Sports Center here. And the first show is at 7 on Friday, but we'll have all that information on ValleyNewsLive.com.
It really is beautiful. I could just watch them all morning.
I'm getting dizzy watching that spin that we just saw. That is some talent that they have, and it's going to be a good show. Abby Furchner reporting live. Thank you very much. Let's get the answer now to our question of the morning on Facebook. Here's that question. Only 20% of grade school kids these days know how to do this.
The answer? Tell time on a good old-fashioned clock using the big hand and little hand, right? Remember, you can take part every weekday morning by heading to our Valley News Live Facebook page. And I feel like we're finally turning the corner, and I'm loving it.
We are. I mean, temperatures rising above freezing during the day all week long. Today, there's a slight chance for a little bit of snow or even light rain later in the second half of the day. But other than that, quiet this week. We even hit the 40s by the end of the week, just right after we hit the spring equinox as well. So I think we are turning a corner.
The Today Show and CBS This Morning are just about to start, but the Valley Today rolls on. Join us right now on the Fargo CW.